What's up, guys? My name is Heather Jacobs. This is my YouTube page, and I like talking about mental health. So, this is my YouTube page to kind of talk about different aspects of mental health and different ways I've coped with it. And my intention is hopefully somebody else could see this and it could help them as well cope with things, and not even just cope with, but not cope, not survive, but succeed, to help them push through and quiet out the background noise and focus on what makes them happy and focus on grounding yourself and knowing who you are without all the background noise that other people might try to tell you or that your own mental thoughts might try to tell you as well to bring you down. So if it could help somebody else, then I will gladly talk about the ways that I have been through different turmoils in life and the ways that I've tried to process them. And I'm not perfect and I don't have the answers to many things, but I can only talk about what I've experienced and talk about things that have kind of spoken out to me that, help me to live authentically. Yeah, a little bit of background. I'm a nurse. I work in the NICU. I've been a nurse for 8 years this upcoming March. I'm also an aspiring pro wrestler. I'm going to start pro wrestling training in Atlanta at the Nightmare Factory in January, from January to April. So this is also kind of like a little bit of a vlog too, a little bit kind of my journey into the world of professional wrestling. I did professional wrestling before in 2018 and I took a break, but I have like an energy and a fire inside of me that wants to do it again. And that's part of why I'm making this channel too. Because with me starting this journey to professional wrestling, there's a lot of self-doubt. There's a lot of questions of self-worth, imposter syndrome, if I can really do this, a lot of things. So with that coming up and with me pursuing my passion and me pursuing my dreams, mental health has also come into play for sure, because I have to reassure myself, yes, you can do this. You can do it. There's no reason you can't. And the only thing that's stopping yourself is you, but you got to work through it. So yeah, I wanted to talk today about boundaries, but not even just boundaries, because boundaries aren't always a bad thing, but setting up walls. I talked to my therapist this week. Therapy is amazing, and I advocate for therapy as much as I can. It's great. You don't have to go through life alone. You don't have to feel so lost in your own thoughts and feeling that nobody else can relate. Therapy is a huge help with that. So I love therapy. I love my therapist. But this last week we talked about how, why is it so hard for you to put down your walls? So when she said that, it's just so funny. I thought about Chris Jericho's theme song, Break Down the Walls, because he has a move called The Walls of Jericho. But just breaking down your walls in general. So my wrestling name when I started back in 2018 was Bryce Avery. And when I went to therapy first in 2019, after I was done with wrestling, I named the different personality traits that I have. And the one who's trying to protect me and trying to guard me, I named it Bryce. And that's because in order to protect myself, I block myself off from other people. I don't let people in easily because I have a fear of rejection. I have a fear of rejection. I have a fear of failure. And so with those fears, it's easier for me to come off like I don't care. I'd rather come off strong, dominant, and independent. You can still be those things. But also through that, I like coming off not menacing or anything, but just to myself. I don't really necessarily reach out to other people first. I don't reach out to other people first. I keep to myself because I fear that they're not going to accept me. So instead of that fear showing, I'd rather just pretend like, oh, I don't care. I don't care if they talk to me or not. I'm good by myself. But in order to live life authentically, in order to be the true me, and in order to succeed in the wrestling business, I have to break down those walls. In order to connect with people in a real, authentic, sincere way, I have to break down those walls. In order to engage an audience, in order to be entertaining, in order to let the real me inside show, I have to break down those walls. There's a goofy, silly side of me that others have seen, but it takes a while to get down to that. And ever since starting my new job a year ago, nobody at my new job has gotten through that wall, because I haven't let them. But also at the same time, I'm like, well, they don't show interest, so why should I let them? If they're not interested, why show it? Make them interested. Don't be so afraid to jump into stuff. But not even that. That's just me personally. So talking about breaking down walls, especially with wrestling, I have to break down the walls to let my true self show. I want to be entertaining. I want to engage other people. I was just watching, I had an ad on Instagram. I was watching Instagram stories, and there was an ad on Instagram for a professional wrestler. His name is Encore. He trained at House of Glory with Amazing Red. I watched some videos of him, and I was like, wow. He likes to go by the phrase, like his title is The Last Entertainer. And watching his matches, he has this kind of like move set that he does in all his matches, but it engages the crowd, it engages the audience. He's also very good, and he's also very talented, and he makes you want to see more. I watched like at least 7 or 8 of his videos, and then, you know, like at one point he just showed like fans coming up asking for him to sign stuff. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. Like a crowd who doesn't know, they don't have to know anything about who you are. You could be a completely new face to them. But to be able to engage them and, you know, actually get them going and get them interested, invested in what you're doing, and then they're like, wow, I want to see more of that person's work. That's what I want. I worry so much about wrestlers' movesets, not people, but just wrestlers. I worry so much about wrestlers' movesets, and I'm like comparing myself, like, can I do that? I don't even know if I can do that. I can't do that. Would I ever be able to do that? They're so good at that. I don't even know why I would even try. That's not the point. I haven't trained in 3 years. It'll be 4 years. Well, no, it'll be like 3.5 years, but no, it'll be 4. My last wrestling match was December 22nd, 2018. So it's been 3 years since my last wrestling match. Yeah, there's a lot I have to learn. Comparing myself to people who are actively training and actively wrestling in matches, what's the point of that? Of course they know things I don't know. Of course they have skills I don't have. So why compare myself? I need to just kind of stop, take a breath, and learn, you know, take note of what they're doing. So that's why I kind of saw with him, I was like, he's just having so much fun out there. He's having fun. He's wrestling, he's showing off his skills, but he's just, you know, engaging the audience by doing things that are not necessarily silly or goofy, you know, and like if somebody from the outside was watching it, they might be like, oh, that's a little bit, you know, like, why is he doing that? That's kind of show-offy and stuff. But in the world of wrestling, it makes sense, and it makes sense for his matches, and it's what's helping getting him more popular. So I have to authentically be me. And, you know, that's something that I've always heard. People in the wrestling business always say that the character that relates most to you is the one that's going to resonate the most with people, and that's how you're going to be the most successful. Well, I didn't know who I was. You know, I kind of struggle with identity. I don't even know who I am. And I worry about, am I even worth it? Like, are people even going to care? Do I have anything that's going to make me stand out? I have to break down those walls because I know that there's a side of me that loves entertaining, and like the dreams I have, the daydreams and all those things, I don't really let them show. I'm kind of quiet about it. I have to break down the walls to let that personality show. I'm so worried that other people are going to see it and not like it, judge me for it, whatever it may be. I still have to be me at the end of the day. So it's a process. This is a work in progress. This is nothing that I'm like solved. But I have to actively try to break down those walls to let myself show, give myself a chance, let me entertain, let the person inside who's dreaming all these dreams, give them a chance to actually shine. I have to do that. In order to make this succeed, but in order not just to succeed in like mainstream business, but to succeed for myself, it's something I have to do. It's gonna make life worth living that much more to know that you're being yourself without worrying so much about other people's perception of you. And, you know, you don't have to let your walls down completely. With that saying, like, it's okay to still protect yourself in certain circumstances and certain situations, but you don't have to treat everybody at a distance. You don't have to push everybody away. It's okay to give people a chance and let them see the real you. And even if they don't like the real you, and if they have their judgments about the real you, great. That's their perception. Move on to the next person who's going to accept you for exactly the way you are. I was thinking about that too, about like wrestling characters who have to do a character and have to, you know, always put like on a certain face and a certain gimmick. But how easy it would be to just go out there and just be yourself and know that people love it, and, you know, to not have to worry about remembering to come off this way, but to just be like, yeah, this is who I am, and I'm accepted for it, and I'm loved for it. And the goal of my life right now is failure. I have a fear of failure, but I'm in my fail phase. I keep saying it's okay to fail and to fall flat on your face. I keep saying that, but I have to live it. But also the goal is to live out loud. So I have a goal to live out loud, live courageously, and take this experience for everything it's worth. And yeah, I'll be doing more videos.